The crisp November air of Michigan hung heavy as we piled into the truck for our annual father-son hunting trip. Steve in the shotgun seat. Dad, a seasoned hunter with a calm demeanor that belied his sharp instincts, chuckled at Steve's boundless energy. The morning ritual unfolded much like the countless mornings before. Coffee brewed strong, bacon sizzling, and the comforting weight of our rifles settled into our familiar routines. Breakfast barely touched. We were itching to get out into the woods. Nature's symphony greeted us as we reached our secluded cabin nestled deep in the Rifle River State Recreation Area. Steve, however, was nature's call short-circuiting our grand entrance. With a sheepish grin and a mumbled excuse, he darted off towards the trusty old outhouse tucked discreetly behind the cabin. Dad, ever vigilant, scanned the tree line. As I unpacked our gear, a sudden rustle and a flash of brown caught his eye. "Buck," he hissed, shouldering his rifle in a practiced motion. The crack of the shot echoed through the stillness. Before I could react, Dad was already racing off, his excitement momentarily eclipsing his usual caution. Minutes turned into a frantic search. Thankfully, Steve emerged from the outhouse, blinking in the morning sun, completely oblivious to the near miss. Relief washed over me, quickly replaced by another wave of worry as Dad returned empty-handed. He was certain of his shot, a skilled hunter, rarely missing his mark. The lack of blood trails and the brown carpet of fallen leaves deepened the mystery. We spent the next hour combing the woods, the silence broken only by the snap of twigs and the rustle of unseen creatures. Frustrated, we decided to head back to the cabin, Steve grumbling about the lack of deer burgers on the menu. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows, the idea of a blood-tracking light sparked a renewed sense of purpose. We retraced our steps, the eerie silence of the deepening woods prickling our skin. A strange unease settled over us, a feeling we couldn't quite place. Then, Steve froze. "Did you hear that?" he whispered, eyes wide. A twig snapped, followed by the rustle of leaves moving far too quickly for a deer. A cold sweat slicked my palms as we pressed deeper, the tracking light casting an eerie glow. The forest seemed to come alive with unseen eyes watching us. And then we saw them. Red orbs glinted through the darkness, perched atop 3 colossal bipedal figures standing motionless at the edge of a clearing. Panic surged through me as we locked eyes with the creatures. They were unlike anything I'd ever seen. Towering figures, far taller than any deer stand, shrouded in the darkness. Unable to tear our gaze away, we watched as one of them, startled by the light, dodged clumsily, covering its eyes with elongated, 3-fingered hands. Another blinked rapidly, its eyes reflecting like malevolent embers in the dark. "Bigfoot," Steve breathed, his voice a mere tremor. The unspoken word hung heavy in the air. We trained the light back on the creatures, a desperate attempt to hold them at bay. They retreated further into the woods, dissolving into the shadows with unnatural speed. Fear propelled us forward. The woods, once familiar, now seemed menacing. What had taken us almost an hour to walk in became a chaotic scramble out. We tripped over roots, dropped flashlights, and stumbled blindly, the sounds of pursuit echoing behind us. Finally, bursting through the tree line, we collapsed in a heap, gasping for breath. The silence that greeted us was deafening. Had we imagined it all? But the terror in each other's eyes confirmed the shared nightmare. The night hunt for the wounded deer was abandoned. As we drove the familiar trails, a sense of unease lingered. There, near a thicket of trees, we spotted it. The deer, its flanks stained crimson, stumbled deeper into the woods. An ear-splitting shriek tore through the night. It wasn't the mournful howl of a coyote pack. It was a primal scream, filled with rage and pain, a sound that defied explanation and sent shivers down our spines. Whether it were hungry coyotes or something else entirely, we never learned. All we knew for certain was that the secrets of the Rifle River woods ran deeper than we ever imagined. We left with our deer story unfulfilled, replaced by a far more unsettling encounter, a chilling reminder that the vast expanse of the Michigan wilderness held mysteries best left undisturbed.